Hi guys, I'm Saumya and I'm back again with another video. I hope you're all doing well. So I make a lot of bookish content on this channel. So if you love books, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and then click on the bell icon. So in today's video, I am going to talk about the books that I read in May. So this is a May reading wrap up and I want you to share the books that you read in May in the comment section. I look forward to hearing from you. Let's get started with this video. The first book is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. So this is a story that is taking place in New York and it's about four friends and it spans a few decades. So it starts when these four friends are in their college and it goes on till the time they are in their 50s. So we literally read about them growing up. Now this was a very hard book to read, not because of its length but because of the daunting themes. A few of them were self-harm, pedophilia, sexual harassment and disability. This book is literally brutal in terms of how descriptive and detailed it can get, and even though the writing of this book is brilliant, by the end of this the story left me emotionally exhausted and drained. The next book is The Doll's House by Neil Gaiman. So this is the second book in the Sandman series and this is a comic. So in this book we meet King of Dreams or Morpheus again, and we meet another character named Rose whose story we follow. So obviously the story in this book follows the story in the first part of the Sandman, which is Preludes and Nocturnes. So this book was terrifying to read. I mean, it was extremely engrossing and interesting, but also quite terrifying. Now I'm somebody who is just getting introduced to horror. I'm trying to read horror more and more, little by little. So for me, the horror part of this book is not to be taken lightly. It's really grisly, it can be brutal, and because it's a comic, everything is illustrated. Overall, I liked it, but again, if you get disgusted and creeped out really easily, then you should not go for the Sandman series. The next book is Desperately Seeking Shahrukh by Shrayana Bhattacharya. So this one is a non-fiction book and it talks about women from different sections of the society who the author interviewed. And these women, although they come from different sections of the society, they all talk about their aspirations, their financial goals, their experiences in their love lives, and overall what it means to be a woman in India. The reason this book has Shah Rukh Khan in its title is because all these women that are interviewed in this book are all Shah Rukh Khan fans. And Shah Rukh Khan in this book is a metaphor for a fantasy that these women consider him to be, that he's very romantic, loving, caring, and then they talk about this fantasy versus the realities of their lives. So this book is very insightful, and this is a very serious read. As a woman, it can really make you think. It can also make you compare your life to the lives of these women. Some of these things you will obviously relate to, others will shed a light on something that you had no idea about. Overall, it's a very informative read. The next book is The Puppet, the Professor and the Prophet, which is the third book in the Abadazad series, and it has been written by J.M. DeMatteis and Mike Klug. So this is the third and the final book in this series because the other books that were supposed to follow have all been cancelled. So this is what we get as readers, the ones who care about the series, including me. This is the third book and the story is incomplete. But anyway, I loved reading it. I have always liked the Abadazad series, and reading this book was long overdue. It's a story about a 14-year-old girl named Kate who gets transported to Abadazad to look for her brother Matt, who was kidnapped by a lanky man who's the villain in this story. So yeah, I loved reading it. It's a graphic novel. It has illustrations, but it has quite a lot of text as well. So I mean, I'll still call it a graphic novel, and I loved it. Next book is Chaurangi by Shankar, translated from Bengali by Arunava Sinha. So this story is taking place in the Calcutta of 1950s, and this is a story about a hotel named Shah Jahan. That's a 5-star hotel. It's sprawling and luxurious, and the story has been told in first person by a new employee of this hotel whose name also happens to be Shankar. And in this book we read about his account of his own experiences working there and his encounters with other characters that he meets through his job at this hotel. It's a very beautiful story. It is stunningly written, and overall it's a very moving experience reading this book. One thing that has to be said about the story is that it does a phenomenal job of transporting you back in time into a completely different world that is far removed from the reality of today. I believe this is definitely a must read. The next book is Tintin. Now this edition has two Tintin stories, Tintin in the Land of the Soviets and Tintin in America. So Tintin in America was originally the third book in the Tintin series, but the original second book, which is Tintin in Congo, got banned because of being racist and problematic. So now Tintin in America is the second book in the series. So as I said, these are two separate stories and two separate adventures of Tintin, who is, by the way, a French reporter who goes on different adventures for his newspaper along with this dog named Snowy. Now Tintin books used to be there in my house when I was a kid. These were these really big paperback comics, but I never read them. So out of nostalgia, I got myself this Tintin box set, and now I'm reading these stories for the first time in my life. So these stories follow a standard format where Tintin gets in trouble and then he gets out of it. Also, his dog is exceptionally intelligent and resourceful, and he has a lot of dialogues, but I'm not sure if Tintin understands Snowy. I think he doesn't, but I'm still not sure completely. There were many funny incidents in this book, in both the stories, and I ended up having a good laugh. So that was my May reading wrap up. I hope you liked watching it. If you want to read any of the books that I talked about in this video, let me know in the comments. That was it for today's video. If you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description. I will see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye, take care and stay safe.